What a fun.
Hey everybody, I'm the Einstein on Wall Street here from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. I am the senior floor trader for TradeMoz, partner in Wall Street Global Trading Academy, and you're watching Taking Stock.
Two minutes to go into the close here on this, the final trading day of 2025. We are unfortunately set to log here our fourth consecutive day of losses across the major market indexes, but what a year it has been. The S&P 500 is expected to officially finish in positive territory for the year, better than 16%. That sets the stage for this, our final broadcast of 2025. A very happy New Year's Eve to you all, and welcome to the show. You're watching Taking Stock. I am your host, JD Durkin, live from the trading floor of the big board, just moments away, my friends, from the ringing of the truly iconic closing bell here at the New York Stock Exchange as we imminently say goodbye to the terrific year that has been 2025. The amazing team from USO is here, set to do the honors. Men and women in service are here as well. Are we hyped up to say goodbye to the year? A very happy new year as well. Yeah, let's just keep the party going here for 2025. The USO is set to do the honors to officially say goodbye to 2025. Time now for the closing bell. Session lows.
What's that?
Session lows.
Yeah.
The final strikes of the gavel for 2025. Your final tail of the tape on this Wednesday, December 31st. Oh yeah, let's get it. USO! USO! Okay. That's awesome. You're all awesome. Very happy New Year, each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. Your final tail of the tape on this Wednesday, December 31st, finishing at session lows. This is historically one of the weakest day of the calendar year for equities, and that has held true on this New Year's Eve. The S&P 500 will finish down about 0.7%. The Dow down 0.6. The New York Stock Exchange Composite Index also down 0.6, and the small caps finishing down 0.75%. The VIX up, the 10-year Treasury yield moving up here on the day. Gold and silver taking a bit of a breather after a wild ride here so far year to date. Those metals up 64 and 147% respectively. Let's bring in our good pal Eric Criscolo, market strategist here at the New York Stock Exchange, for his perspective on today's price action and really this entire year's price action. Welcome back to the show.
It is always great to be here with you. Thank you very much.
So we are not only closing the day at session lows, which is interesting, but we're finishing the year 4 down days. We're still waiting to see a Santa Claus coming to town. Eric, what do you see as you look up in these markets?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of red today. I think he's got about 2 more days to come, Santa Claus anyway, for the Santa Claus rally. But let's take a step back, right? You said we're up 17% on the year, the S&P 500 is. We're above the 50-day moving average, we're above the 100-day, we're above the 200-day. I think we just closed on the 20-day moving average. So, I think the market is just kind of trying to figure out where it wants to settle right now. We just hit an all-time high a few days ago, Christmas Eve, so it's not like we're falling apart here, but I think there's just kind of some technical things going on right now in the market that's kind of driving some of the price action here.
Yeah, what are you going to be looking for in the days ahead? Obviously, to your point, so we're off tomorrow.
Yep.
That's Thursday, New Year's Day. We're back open on Friday, and then Monday will technically be the final day for what we usually call the Santa Claus rally window. We could have a big pop to start the year,
Good.
but what are some of the indicators and catalysts you'll be looking for to give you some sense of what the month of January will hold for investors?
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to get off on a good foot, right? Everybody wants to do that. So, there's going to be a full week of trading. next week, finally. We're going to have some more data coming in. We're going to have some job reports coming in, some employment data. That's always helpful for the markets to find direction. Big events like the CES, Consumer Electronics Show. A lot of tech is going to be out there, obviously. Updates from NVIDIA, AMD, some of the big, huge tech companies, some of the consumer products companies as well. So, there's going to be a lot of events to kind of look at as far as setting the stage for next year.
Yeah, one of the many things we've been talking about, especially this last quarter, this really incredible surge in precious and industrial metals, gold an all-time high, silver all-time high after all-time high. How do you position that as you look at that, being a market strategist here at the New York Stock Exchange, especially compared to maybe some other elements and financial instruments that have performed this year?
Yeah, the rip in precious metals has obviously been one of the main themes to end the year. We saw gold kind of do it initially, and then silver kind of took the mantle, and it's been very volatile, right? With some of the margin requirements changing on a daily basis. So that's going to be one of the stories to look at as we were talking about early in 2026, especially silver, because it is such, even though it's a precious metal, it's also a very industrial focused metal as well, used in a lot of applications, much more than gold. So we're going to see how all those other base metals kind of perform as well. Aluminum, iron, steel, everything else. So, that's going to play into the narrative of, margins and inflation. And, if those metals move higher, it's going to make it harder for some of those other companies to kind of keep margins going up as well. So a lot of things going on right now.
Yeah, Eric, almost out of time before we let you go. What is one thing that surprised you in these financial markets in 2025?
Well, I'd have to say the insane rip that we saw from the lows in April, up, we're up over about 40% from the lows on the year. And it was a very fast recovery, V-shaped textbook example. That was probably the biggest surprise to me anyway in financial markets, was just how fast we rallied off that low. Besides financial markets, I'm going to have to say, for me personally, it was the New York Islanders getting the first overall pick to select Matthew Schaefer, 18-year-old wonder kid defenseman who hopefully will be an Islander for the next 15, 20 years.
There you go. I'm a New Jersey Devils fan, won't hold it against you. As long as the Rangers lose, then I think you and I both win.
We can both agree on that.
Eric Criscuolo, market strategist here at the NYSE. Thank you, my friend. Happy New Year to you. Thanks
Happy New Year to you as well. Happy New Year, everyone.
As always, Skylar will take your microphone. Todd, my man, you and I are going to head this way. Hello, folks. Pardon me. One and all, time now to bring you the latest Polymarket odds as Polymarket participants are trying to figure out who will win the college football playoff. That's right, tonight is game time. 32% odds, at least according to Polymarket participants. It is Ohio State, 21% Indiana, 18% chance it is Georgia, 11% Oregon takes the title. And then you get down to the single digits, Texas Tech at 8%, Alabama Crimson Tide at 6%, Miami at 4%, and Ole Miss down at 3%. Tonight we got number 10 Miami taking on number 2 Ohio State, and then tomorrow, just in time for all of us to just kind of sit and rot on our couches and watch nothing but football, 12 o'clock Oregon, Texas Tech, 4 o'clock Bama, Indiana, 8 o'clock Ole Miss and Georgia. Before we take a quick toss to break, let's take a look at 2 NYSE notable companies here on the day. And you got to start and tip your cap to the great investing legend, Warren Buffett. Today, his last day as CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. This is actually the 3rd consecutive year that Berkshire Hathaway has been a net seller, not a net buyer, net seller of equities. The stock is set to finish just above the 50-day moving average. Berkshire Hathaway shares improving 10.5% in 2025. And finally, how about the largest New York Stock Exchange listed company by market cap, knocking the cover off the ball here in 2025. We're of course talking about chip giant Taiwan Semiconductor, up 55% this year. Negotiations continuing with NVIDIA, according to reports in recent days, to boost production of the anticipated H200 AI chips. Taiwan Semi, believe it or not, set to report quarterly results January 15th. Yeah, we are that close to yet again a fresh round of earnings season. All right, time now, as we've been doing all week long, to bring you some of our favorite interviews throughout the year here on Taking Stock. And not that long ago, the co-founders of Solana visited here at the New York Stock Exchange. They sat down with our very own Ashley Mastronardi. Take a look.
I'm joined by Anatoly Yakovenko and Raj Gokul, the co-founders of Solana. Welcome to the New York Stock Exchange and to Taking Stock.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. So you were here as the Bitwise team rings the closing bell. Can you talk to us about the Solana ETFs that went live this week?
Yeah, it turns out it's the highest volume ETF, the most successful ETF of the entire year, which was quite a surprise to us. And it's a big moment for Solana because as a blockchain, it's a wrapper for institutional adoption for the asset, which is a big step forward.
All right, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, this is a super exciting step. You know, the whole point of Solana is to build global permissionless markets, and now we are integrating with the oldest, kind of best markets in the world. So very, very, very cool to see.
Do you think there's been more of a general acceptance of crypto? We've seen Bullish go public on the New York Stock Exchange. We've seen Circle in the past year. Do you think crypto is taking a step out into the world stage with these ETF offerings?
Absolutely. I think the tides have turned incredibly quickly over the last year or two. And we're seeing that all of our conversations with institutions and all of the adoption is much smoother and much faster. But also in the interim years, what happened is the infrastructure got really battle hardened. So Solana's processing more transactions than every other blockchain combined at this point. And that gives institutions a lot of confidence in the stability and security of the network.
And who is this ETF for? Like, what type of investor?
I think it's for everyone that is curious about crypto and wants some exposure to the crypto industry.
All right, and what is a way that someone, before jumping into this, can learn more about Solana or different types of products that you offer?
Yeah, for users and consumers, you can go to Solana.com or follow @Solana on Twitter, and there's updates with thousands of applications being launched. For institutions and enterprises, you can go to whysolana.com, WHY-Solana.com, and it explains how the network works and the performance characteristics, which help people understand how to use it.
And what makes this ETF different than similar products that might be on the marketplace?
It's one of the only staking ETFs, and Solana has a yield, in the 6 to 7% plus range for ETF investors, and it's underpinned by a network that actually has utility. So where Bitcoin is sort of store of value and has a money use case, Solana is sort of financial infrastructure where exchanges, stablecoin transactions, and transfers, and all kinds of other use cases have a home.
And for someone who might be new to this space, can you explain what a staking ETF is and what staking is?
Staking is a way to secure the network. So this is a first, I think, for the industry that we have a ETF on Wall Street that actually participates in securing the network. And as part of that, it gets a return.
Amazing. And what is next for Solana?
Everything.
Everything. Okay.
Tokenize all the assets. It's a global exchange for any asset that's available permissionlessly for any user, any enterprise. So, Visa's using it. PayPal, Western Union just announced that they're replacing a lot of their backend infrastructure with Solana and launching a stablecoin. But also, we have tens of millions of users, and that's growing faster than any other network.
What is your vision, Solana's vision, for internet capital markets?
I mean, we want to see markets for everything formed easily and cheaply and transparently. So I think this is the big transformation that's going to happen in finance is that you see the equivalent to Silicon Valley and Wall Street, but all on the internet that's global and interconnected.
And how does it feel for both of you to be here with Bitwise celebrating at the New York Stock Exchange in the last 30 seconds?
Yeah, Bitwise and NYSE have done an amazing job putting on a great launch event, and it's really surreal to see the new internet capital markets joining with the old capital markets. Everyone's just overjoyed.
All right, thank you Anatoly Yakovenko and Raj Gokul for that interview and for joining us on Taking Stock.
Thanks for having us.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the show. Every New Year's Eve, the entire New York Stock Exchange community very proudly gets together right here on the iconic trading floor to sing a pop standard that dates all the way back to 1905. It is a song about hope during the dark times and the promise in that song of the clouds rolling by someday. Earlier today on December 31st, as we do every year, we once again gathered to sing that song from 1905, Wait Till the Sun Shines, Nelly. Take a look.
As the clouds go drifting by, we will
Without a doubt, that is always one of our very favorite traditions here at the Big Board. And now I get to talk with one of my favorite guests at the Big Board community, the great Jay Woods of Freedom Capital Markets and a CNBC contributor. Jay, our viewers just got a glimpse, maybe some of them for the first time, of something they've been doing down here for a very long time. What does the annual singing of Wait Till the Sun Shines, Nelly, mean for you as a longtime member?
Yeah, it's taken on different variations over the years. This was my 33rd time being a part of that. And, you know, to me it's a little somber because I remember it in the great times when we had 5,000 people on this floor. We get to welcome a lot of those members back, so it's very touching, but then it really harkens back to those days when the sun was truly shining. Although, let's be optimistic. We did finish third straight year of double-digit gains, so to have that group come back and to celebrate, ring out the new year is always special. So, yeah, we can go to dark places, we can focus on the highlights. I like to focus on the highlights, and it was great to see a lot of the old crew back singing out the new year, and hope for a great 2026.
3 consecutive years of double-digit gains. Here's the number, my friend, 68, 45, 50.
Yep.
This time last year, I knew a guy who said the market would finish at 6,900. My man, you were just a few points off here. What did you see?
One day off.
How did you get it so right when
Well,
so many others were not as sure?
You go back and you study what we went through during the Trump administration 1.0. We did say there's going to be turmoil out of the gates, tariffs coming at us fast and furiously, and then what would we do? We would judge how we performed based on the market, and that's what this president has done. The market's been his report card, and as soon as he saw that these tariffs were not going well, what did we do? We backed off, and we started to see some strong earnings growth, technology-led. That's what we thought would lead, technology, then communications. Thank you to Google having a banner year, and we finished the year almost at those highs, and now we begin with a lot more questions going into 2026. It should be fun to watch the next few weeks.
Speaking of early days in January, we got the January barometer. We also have the first 5 trading days as a bit of a seasonal indicator. You track this stuff much more closely than I do. What are you going to be looking for as soon as we reopen the markets on Friday?
We don't want to track it because Santa has not come to town. He did not come to town the last 2 years, yet we had sizable gains. So these are fun indicators, and history proves that, you know, when Santa comes to town, the last 5 trading days of this year, the next 2 of 2026, that bodes well for the market. The January effect and the January barometer, which you acutely mentioned, as January goes, so goes the market. Those first 5 trading days usually set the table. It's a nice little head start. If we go up, 80% of the time we're up year to date. I don't put too much stock into it, but we do want to start the year on an uptick, and we'll see how that bodes on Friday, and then the first full year, January 5th to January 9th. Hopefully we can get off to a good start, and we'll see. But like I said, a lot of headwinds coming after that first week of trading, that's for sure.
I would never surprise a guest live on air with a bit of unexpected trivia. But you are well, it's kind of a present for you, but you're no average guest. You're a very good friend of ours here. Time now for some rapid fire wrap up. Jay Woods, your first question, what has been, you will know all these, what is the best performing stock in the Dow in 2025?
Caterpillar, from percentage-wise, Goldman Sachs, points-wise, added to the Dow.
Caterpillar up 57%. What has been the best performing sector in the S&P 500 this year?
That would be technology, followed by communications.
What has been the best performing Magnificent 7 stock of the year, Jay Woods?
That would be one that I personally own. That's Alphabet. We call it Google here because their symbol is GOOGL.
And this is my gift, my present to you.
Yeah.
What has been the best performing team in the NFC East this year, Jay Woods?
That would be the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles.
11-5 as of today, with one more game left in the regular season and a probably very promising run into the playoffs past that. The great Jay Woods of Freedom Cap and CNBC, all the best for the new year, my man. Great to have you.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everyone out there as well.
We'll see you again in the new year. Folks, don't go anywhere. Much more Taking Stock coming up live from the Big Board after this. Welcome back to the show. You are watching the very special New Year's Eve edition of Taking Stock live from the New York Stock Exchange. Time now for what is always my favorite part of the show, not just talking with an amazing guest, but a guest who just rang the closing bell. This is Mike Lennington. He is the CEO of USO. What an honor to have you, all the active service members, the men and women in uniform who are here at the big board today. Happy New Year's to you as well. Thanks for being
Thanks,
here.
JD. Thanks for having me on. What a treat that was.
Well,
That was
I want to
unbelievable.
ask you about, because I was actually pretty stunned to just learn. This is your first time visiting us.
Never been
down
here.
here on this trading floor. What was the experience like to be here and to ring that bell?
First of all, the team at the New York Stock Exchange welcomed us today like we were kings and queens. We got to take some pictures out front, the USO banners everywhere, escorted through a reception, up for the bell, and then down here afterwards. It's just been a real treat, a real honor.
Talk to me a bit about USO's ongoing mission. What do you feel is most important for someone watching this interview to learn about the day-to-day work of you and the organization?
So the USO has been in place for almost 85 years, founded in 1941 by the president to help meet the needs of our service members that were being deployed to go to war. That mission has really endured for 85 years, but what people don't realize is the USO's expeditionary mission today. We're in more than 35 countries around the world, 260 post camps and stations. We're on aircraft carriers, destroyers. We're all over. Wherever the military is deployed, the USO goes with them. We call ourselves the home away from home. Mental health and well-being among our service members is so important. That's what the USO as a nonprofit provides to service members. With the generosity of the American people, it's a great mission.
Talk to me a bit more about the generosity of the American people, how important that is to really further establishing and fortifying the service member experience.
It's huge. People misperceive that the USO is a government organization. We're not. We're a nonprofit organization funded by the American people. So this is the American people's opportunity to say thank you for the more than 170,000 of the 2.5 million around the world that are forward deployed and serving. As we enjoy the holiday season around family and friends, we've got hundreds of thousands of service members forward deployed, USO full-time staff, and 20,000 volunteers there with them, helping them do what they do to help our men and women feel a connection to home and a feeling of home, a feeling of wellness is really what it's all about.
In what ways has the mission of the USO evolved since 1941, and in what ways has it stayed the same?
In the early days, it was really an organization that provided shows, camp shows, Bob Hope, camp shows around all the deploying locations around the country, overwhelming the civilian communities where service members by the millions were being activated to military service. Today, the USO is more spread out, more dispersed, and really our overseas presence is the big difference. Today, the USO obviously still in airport lounges and affiliated with post camps and stations around the United States, but our forward presence is incredible. 39 USOs alone in the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. And I'm going to Asia right after the new year to see all of our USOs in Asia.
And very safe travels and all the best, and thank you for the service to each and every man and woman in uniform, both here at the New York Stock Exchange and all around the world. Mike Lennington, the CEO of
Thank
USO.
You, JD.
Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Congratulations and thanks for everything. Folks, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break, and on the other side of that break, we'll bring you the latest from Scarlett Sieber at Money 2020. More Taking Stock on this New Year's Eve after this.
Welcome back. I am Scarlett Sieber from Money 2020, and this is Jargon Translator, where we break down the finance buzzwords that sound like sci-fi but are shaping the future. Because isn't sci-fi? Now I'm confused. Today's term is DAO. No, it's not a new K-pop group, and yes, we all know about K-pop Demon Hunters. Please, let's not go there. DAO is Decentralized Autonomous Organization. Here's the deal. A DAO is basically a company without a CEO. No C-suites in the building here. No corner office, no hierarchy, just code and community. Instead of decisions coming from the top, DAO runs on smart contracts and voting by token holders. You buy tokens, you get a say. It's like a group chat, but for running an organization, and everyone's vote actually counts. Why do people love it? Transparency and decentralization. Everything happens on the blockchain, so no shady backroom deals. Every proposal, every vote, it's all public. It's giving corporate governance means Reddit thread. Here's the catch. When code runs the show, bugs can be catastrophic. Remember the DAO hack in 2016? 60 million vanished faster than your paycheck on payday. And because DAOs are global and decentralized, fixing problems isn't as easy as just calling IT. It's like trying to patch a spaceship mid-flight. It can be a bit messy. DAOs have been used for everything though. Venture funds, NFT communities, even social clubs. Want to buy a rare copy of the US Constitution? Constitution DAO tried that. Want to run a DeFi protocol? There's a DAO for that. It's the ultimate power to the people. Except for the people are people within the crypto wallets. Of course, regulators are still scratching their heads at this one. Is DAO a company, a co-op, a legal entity, or just vibes and smart contracts? The answer depends on where you live and how much risk you're willing to take. Next time you hear about DAOs, think less corporate ladder and more digital democracy. DAOs, because who needs a boss when you've got blockchain and 1,000 strangers voting on your next move? And that is your Jargon Translated.
Welcome back to the show. Tomorrow on Wall Street, absolutely nothing is going on. The stock market is closed. The bond market is closed. Please sit at home and enjoy your New Year's Day. But don't get too comfortable, traders, because on Friday, January 2nd, we will be back open. Markets open here at the big board at 9:30 a.m. And we will be back here at Taking Stock for the close at 4 o'clock that day. Thank you for a terrific 2025. One and all, happy New Year's Eve. And we'll see you again Friday.